Good morning, dancers. I'm going to continue with the discussion of certain points in the ballroom technique. We're looking at the book, The Ballroom Technique, through the Imperial Society for the examinations. And it's difficult to remember every little detail when you're studying for your exam. But if you can make some sense out of it and follow a theme, it makes things easier. And then you'll find in your teaching, the reason for all these little details make a lot of sense because they help to keep the couple either together, or in the case we're going to talk about today, the open telemark, it helps to keep the body position looking good and the frame looking good so that we're not getting the lady trapped on the man's right side or having the lady not helping the man with his job. And so a lot of times looking at foot position or amount of turn, something that simple can make a big difference in figures you may be struggling with. So in the long run, it helps the teaching a lot. One of the topics this brings up is the difference in how you might dance a figure according to what figure is coming next. So you can't just have a rule and say this is the way we always do the open telemark, because maybe you're following it with a left turning figure, a more neutral figure, or a right turning figure. And then that will make the difference in something like foot position and so on. So that's the thing we're going to address today, which is one column. And it's a good way to study sometimes just to get one column understood. We'll discuss a little bit of the second column, which then would be the alignment, because that ties in with the foot position and the body not always matching the foot position. So I hope that I'll remember each one of these examples. In the waltz, we have the open telemark followed by the wing, which is a left turning figure. Now we could also dance the open telemark into a weave. Hi, sweetheart. Here, honey. But that one is not in the chart per se. But we would approach it the same way. This is where we need to have more opening for the lady. So we have the open telemark followed by the wing, and the open telemark followed with the cross hesitation. Then in the foxtrot, we'll have the open telemark followed by a feather ending, and the open telemark followed by an open natural turn. Now, one thing I want to make a point of right away is if we're doing the open telemark to the open natural turn, which is a left turn followed by a right turn, this is the only case where the lady does not have a right shoulder or right side lead on step 3 of the telemark. Now, we'll talk about the lady's part, but the lady's part is dependent on the man because she can't be anticipating what the man is going to do if it's not a routine. So that means the man needs to really be disciplined in his amount of turn to prepare what he wants next, because it's not up to the girl to say, oh, this telemark I don't continue to turn to the left. She has to feel that by the way the man dances it. I remember Elizabeth Romaine calling this the baby telemark, and that's because it's the smallest amount of turn. So if I want to do the open natural turn, we'll address that one first because of these differences. I'll put this as my line of dance. So I'm going to start diagonal center as the man. And when I finish my telemark, this step is going to be sideways. Now that is the only example we have in the technique where we're coming out sideways. Most of the other ones are side and slightly forward. This keeps me underturned, and my body here is diagonal wall against the line of dance. It's so easy for the man to come out forward. Now that's a problem in all of the telemarks. We don't have a telemark where the man comes out forward, because you see then he's impinging his lady on the right side, and we're getting a very bad shoulder line. So that can solve a lot of problems there by understanding that we are never coming out forward on the man's third step of open telemark. So here we are sideways. So that's very little turn. So I have not encouraged the lady to continue turning towards me by opening my side. Then I can continue on into the natural turn. So this is also the one case for the lady after she dances her heel turn. When she comes out, she does not come out with a side lead or shoulder leading. comes out diagonally forward in promenade position. Now she should feel that because the man is not turning away from her. So again, I'm emphasizing that these things should happen naturally if the man leads it correctly, but we're assuming that the lady is also sensitive to the feeling. So we're not going to really talk about alignment there, we're going to talk mainly about foot position. And this way the couple is together on the natural turn coming up, and they're not going to be opening too far to the left in order to turn to the right. So we're going to go from the baby telemark all the way to the papa telemark or the grandfather telemark, which is the big amount of turn. So if I were going to waltz now and I want the wing, the position of step 3 of my telemark here is side and slightly back. This is opening the space. This is what I'm going to follow with a wing, so that I'll be able to dance my wing easily, and gives the lady the feeling to continue coming through. I will give the alignment here as well, so I do have my left foot diagonal wall and my body to wall, again, so that I'm not turning away from the girl. My head position can be more to the left, but I'm going to discipline the body to remain here. So what happens to the lady then on step 3 of her telemark is she has a forward step, which is slightly to the right. She feels that because of the man's position. So she is moving forward on the right foot, slightly to the right, with a right side or right shoulder lead in promenade position. So there we have the two extremes. You have a strong left turn coming up after telemark in the wing and in waltz. We can do it in foxtrot, it's just in the charts in the waltz. And then in the foxtrot we have the open natural turn, where the telemark is underturned and the man is going sideways. The lady has no shoulder lead or no side lead. We also, in the other categories, will dance this figure in waltz, but again, it's not in the chart per se. So then what's in between, when we're dancing an open telemark into the feather ending or into the cross hesitation, now the man is coming out side and slightly forward. Again, he's not coming out forward, which is going to turn his left side away from the girl and trap her in the arm. So you'll always have a feeling here of the head turning a little bit more than the body. Now in all these cases, we're going to follow the telemark with the wing, with the feather, with the cross hesitation. The lady will continue her turn because the man is turned more, not severely more, but is turned more than if he's doing a natural turn. And so the trained lady, as she's coming out of the heel turn, she will come out with the right foot diagonally forward in promenade position, with the right side lead or the right shoulder lead, with the body slightly turning left. So as the man is opening, the lady is closing. Now we could reverse this idea when the man is dancing an open impetus turn, and he's on the center of the turn, moving backwards to come out forward. Then she's opening and he's closing. So that's helpful too, to see the reverse. On the open telemark, the lady needs to follow the man and close towards him, and on the open impetus, the man closes towards the lady. So in every case, the lady, when she comes out, is either forward or diagonally forward with a right side lead. The difference would be on the wing that her foot will move slightly to the right. And if it's danced correctly by the man with the lady following the tendency of listening to her partner, this will happen naturally. So remember that the man never comes out forward. The lady comes out forward in one case. I'm saying forward without the shoulder lead. On the open telemark, do the open natural. Everywhere else, she will close to the man and have a shoulder lead. So the man has these foot positions. He has sideways in the baby, and he has side and slightly back, going into a wing, big left turn, and he has side and slightly forward in the more neutral following figure, the feather or the cross hesitation. So I've tried to limit that to 1 or 2 columns mostly, foot position and some of the tenets of why it's important. And so if you think about these things logically, if you're working towards your test, you don't have to just memorize, you have a logical explanation. And then many times you'll find this is how you solve problems with your students or with your own dancing by just checking, am I turning too far? Is my foot position correct? And why does that make a difference? I think I've talked about this before, just in discussion of the technique, that very often the placement of the foot corrects a problem because where the foot goes affects where the spine is going. Where the spine is going is either going to give space to your partner or eliminate space, encourage her to move forward or to squeeze her. It's going to cause all kinds of issues as far as where your torso, where your spine is. So I'm sure I'll get some questions about this. I often get questions on these details, but it's quite fun to explore and see why all these little things are important. You can always be finding out more information by studying the details.